There we go. All right. Finally got my live to work. All right, let me close out the 10,000 notifications. Welcome, everybody. My name is Mio Bacalini. I am the youngest paint pixie. You might have seen me on here before. I think in September I was able to jump on and create something with you guys. So today we have a special announcement. Hi, welcome Barb, welcome Catherine. Um, and then, oh, there's my mom. She's popping in to moderate. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section, and um, my mom can go ahead and handle all of that. So, um, all right. Well, it is 11:11. Well, now 11:12. Today is March 1st. It is the first day of, I think it's Women's History Month, is the month of March. As well as if you have any like old tradition and anything like that, you know, the first of the month is Rabbit Rabbit. So this is our good luck going on. But today we have a special announcement. My mom and I have been working on something. Um, yeah, so my mom and I have been working on something quietly here in the background. Some of you may not know who I am and what I do. So, again, my name is Mio. I'm the youngest paint pixie. I'm a multimedia creator, meaning I do everything from photography, videography, digital creation, create online courses, and I do anything that you can do, e-commerce, whatever you need help with. I do that on the multimedia side. But then I also am the host of a show called Souls and Stardust podcast, which is a spiritual show for anyone that's trying to navigate their soul having a human experience. And part of what I do on that show is with my best friend. Her and I have created these different oracle decks. We have Your Girlfriend's No BS Love Oracle. And so if you've ever had like an oracle or tarot reading, anything like that, sorry, I won't put that one up because it has a cuss word. And so my mom does not like cuss words. So fall in love with life. You draw in your soul family when you do. So we create stuff like this, right? That we use for different types of readings. This is another deck that we created that it's like a yes no question clarifier. So like, is this really what you want? Right? Sorry, that one has a cuss word. Now is the time. I'll make a PG version for my mother. And then the last affirmation deck that I created is a positive affirmation deck. So this one at the bottom of the deck says, I am manifesting the life that I deserve. Hello, hello, hello. I'm so glad. Yeah, I love my mom too. She's awesome. So, what I wanted to do right now, though, is show you why all of this ties in and makes sense. We have something very, very special that we have been working on, and that went up my nose. So, we have, and then Mom, if you want to get ready to post the link too, I didn't have the direct link for this, but we created the Paint Pixie Magical Mystery Deck. So, what this is, it's a mini deck of 20 different cards so that when you are, whether you want to do a paint party, whether you just are lacking some inspiration, you Oh, it's part of our branding and everything for our my other projects and stuff like that, because we talk about language just being language and how one thing is offensive in one language, but it doesn't have the same value in something else, and uh, that kind of fun stuff. And we don't care. We're to the point in our lives where we're like colorful and seasoning. So this is our Paint Pixie Magical Deck. So what we are gonna do for today's project, hello, I'm gonna have you guys pick a pile. So some of the inspirations on here are paint or draw one, and there's different themes on these. Make a card or a postcard, a love, a thank you, congratulations, I'm sorry. And then mom put a little fun one at the bottom on each of these that you can do. This one is use one of these, transfers, decoupage, pictures, napkins, but also dance. Because you know you got to move things. You got to move things through your body sometimes. If you feel stuff that's stuck in your body, sometimes movement is the only way to get that energy out. So this one is choose a medium, chalk paint, acrylic, watercolor markers, and give yourself a hug. Choose a theme. We've got spiritual love, holiday music, share someone's business page. We got making pastels, choosing shapes. Yeah, so part of what I do and what I deal with are people who need help emotionally and energetically moving things through. Like if there's stuff stuck that is preventing you from succeeding in life, business, career, anything like that. And we do like these intuitive readings. Um, yeah, of course. Yeah. So we are here to fully love and support everybody and everybody's beliefs and backgrounds and stuff like that. Because that's part of it is we are souls having a human journey. And so everybody's got everybody's got their thing that they connect with and that they resonate with. And that's what we're here to just show unconditional love and support to everybody, regardless of whatever. We're here to make art. We're here to create. The creation energy is what is tapped into that unconditional love. When we create, we're taking things from the ideas and the ethers and we're bringing them into fruition. So that's awesome. Embellishments, rhinestones, glitter, diamond dust, ribbons, wood. Use one of these tools, fan brush, palette knife, liner brush, French tip. We have pick a season, different blendings of colors that you could do. 3D effects. I like this. Use one of these palettes and they're like earth tones, bright colors, stuff like that. Exactly. Choose a surface. Wood, canvas, furniture, metal. Nature, flower, trees, leaves, something that flies. Yeah, and if you ever want to listen to my story personally about how I got to this point in my life and my spirituality and being actually open and being open and receptive of my gifts, my natural gifts. That's the first episode. We have 5 seasons of my podcast. So the very, very first episode is Meet the Hosts, and that's where you can absolutely listen to my entire story of how I grew up to my experiences in church and faith and tapping into my natural like experiences that was happening, and then just how it brought me to where I am now, where every day I try to live life intentionally. Every day I try to leave the world better than I found it. Every interaction that I have with people, I'm very intentional where I just, like I said, even if it's one interaction with someone, if they feel better after we've talked, or if it's a lifetime, once I make friends with somebody, like you're stuck with me forever, basically. So I just want to leave people better than I found them. Techniques, metal patina, different stuff to decorate, finishes, paint a background, texture mediums. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I appreciate that. Yeah. We also just did a retreat in November. That was it was amazing. We did it out just outside of Phoenix, and we rented this really cool like old ranch that's just family owned. And it was almost like a giant, not giant, but it was almost like a sleepover where it was just the girls, and we were just doing stuff just to have a safe space to build community so people could openly talk about their spiritual experiences and develop their gifts, because whether you're in or out of anything organized, or if you're just on your own journey, like sometimes we get these experiences with life where we need other people to talk to for it to make sense. And being a creative and being an artist, we are in creative versus consumption mode when we're bringing stuff, right? When we're bringing stuff from the soul level through so that people here on earth we can bless it with our art, and we can make your house feel better, and we can make your house feel warm, and make it feel a particular way. So, all right, we are going to do pick a pile. So I'm going to pull 3 different cards, and then I'll have you guys drop in the comments. And you guys could even use this card on your creation that you make today or tomorrow. So you just drop in the comments if you want pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. And I'm also going to pull one of our positive affirmations for each of these piles. So hopefully the affirmation will be something positive for your life in what you need for today. So pick a pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. Oh, by the way, did I mention today we're going to be giving out one of our decks. So make sure if you're watching, you are very interactive because we're picking people who comment and interact. You get extra entries if you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe there. And I will get this video uploaded to YouTube. So if you put a comment on the YouTube video version of this as well, that'll put you for extra entries. And then part of a thank you is whoever wins that deck, I will also include one of my I am affirmation decks, because the power of an I am statement is I'm not going to, I didn't, it is I am, and it is right here, right now in the present moment. And so that's all we have, right? We don't have yesterday, we don't have tomorrow, we have this moment right this second. So, all right, okay, we're ready? Pile 1. And I think I'll tell you which pile I'll pick after, because I'm leaning towards 2 or 3, but I think I'm gonna go for pile 3 for the one that I actually paint today. Okay, so if you picked pile 1, your affirmation for today is I am starting fresh. Okay, I am starting fresh. Every day is new. Every day that you get to wake up, every phone call, every moment. And that was what I was saying now, right? Like, this is all we have. I am starting fresh. So if you picked pile 1, choose a medium: chalk paint, acrylic, watercolors, or marker, and give yourself a hug. And my caffeine is kicking in, so sorry if it gets jittery. So chalk paint, acrylic, watercolor, or markers. So if you picked pile 1, choose one of those to work with today. Okay. If you picked pile 2, your affirmation for today is I am becoming the best version of myself daily. And that's literally all we can ask for, is that we're a better version of ourselves than we were yesterday. There's no perfection in that. It's just be better. Be better, do better. If I got a little impatient today, do better today or yesterday. Try to be more positive. Sometimes I can get into obviously when I'm tired or hungry, I'm like, oh God, I could get to that negativity where like everything could just be like, But if I could become the best version of myself today, that means I'm the best mom I can be today. Like I was telling my mom, she just stayed with me for a few days. I'm like, I like to wake up and make my kids food. I like to pour my love into my children by giving them, this is, please splatter the paint. So, okay, sorry. I don't want to keep blabbing. So if you pick pile 2, blend colors, pick either blue and green, red and blue, yellow and red, or blue and yellow. And indulge in your guilty pleasure. That was me last night. I got home from photographing this event and I was just exhausted and tired. And I sat on my couch and I just ate so many wheat thins until I fell asleep. then I woke up and the box is next to me. There's like a cracker on the couch. But I'm like, I'm just indulging until I couldn't indulge anymore. Yeah, Melinda, helping your best friend clean her house. Let me tell you, when somebody is so overwhelmed, that is the biggest thing. Just being able to take a load off of them and just to my wheat thins, yeah. Well, that's because I ate all the other junk food because I had to oh, I need to do my big grocery shopping today, but yeah. So, let me show you this one more time. Blue and green, red and blue, yellow and red, blue and yellow. All right, if you picked pile 3, I am shifting my perspective. And let me tell you, even though I am 40, my perspective has shifted so many times since I can remember. And from my 20s to my 30s, and now I'm walking into my 40s, and then I have so many beautiful women around me that are in their 50s and 60s and that are constantly evolving and learning how to be human, right? A lot of times we have to just shift our perspective when we're facing these tough challenges and these obstacles, and we're facing this, whatever makes you miserable or unhappy, or, when you find yourself triggered, pay attention to the things that upset you. Pay attention to the way that somebody's doing something that really bother you, to the point where if it bothers you enough to speak up on it, why? Why does what someone else's life, if they're not hurting anybody, why does it bother you? Hmm? What can you shift your perspective on to go, you know what? I'm going to love this person or this place, this work environment, this community. I'm going to learn to love them. I'm going to learn to love people for who they are, for whatever reason and for however long, right? Also, when I come into tough challenges, being an artist, you have this ability to envision and imagine a lot of things, right? And so I'll go into whatever prayer, meditation, quiet time, whatever you want to label it. I'll sit there, close my eyes, and I'll envision whatever it is in the palm of my hand. And I definitely pick it up and I like to look at it from every single perspective that I can, because maybe I can hit it from a different point. Or maybe the point of it is just to experience it. Because if you're like me, when I hit these obstacles, I'm like stuck sometimes, and it's just like I try to move through the discomfort as fast as possible, but sometimes that's not the lesson. Sometimes the lesson is about being human and experiencing the emotion that you're supposed to be experiencing, because it's part of a spectrum of things that we're here to learn and grow. So, whatever it is, I am shifting my perspective. So, this card that you got, so this will be for your project that you work on this week. And make sure you tag us so that we can reshare it and repost. And we definitely will put magical mystery deck. Hashtag magical mystery deck. Use one of these texture mediums. So a texture medium, a salt wash, diamond dust, glass bead gel. And I love this. Tell yourself you are important. Exactly, Barb. So everyone, and that's the thing too. And I did a mentorship with Dion. Was it last year, or the year before? And one of the things that she had us do was have people that we love tell us things that they love about us. And what shocked and surprised me the most was that every single thing that these people that I love and hold dearly said about me, they weren't physical aspects. These were people who deeply see my soul and see who I am as a person, and could speak on my intention and my heart. And so that means that I'm living as authentically as I can and consistently, that other people are seeing it too. Now other people are seeing my vision and my mission, and like how I'm just here to try to help people, whether it's to help them work through something, get unstuck, whether it's to launch something, whether it's to help them market their business. I'm here as a helper, and people see it. So that's awesome. All right. All right. So, did I say I was picking 2 or 3? I think let's go. Do I want to do? I don't know what a salt wash is. I'll have to ask my mom what that is. Okay. Actually, let's blend some colors. I'm going to do pile 2. But what you can do when you own the deck, you can literally pull as many that you want. So, did I say 3? Okay. Then I'm going to tell myself I'm important. And you know what? I will figure out. I'll do texture medium because I'm going to do a little mini. I'll do one of these. And then I'm going to mix it with watercolors and the magical chalk paint. And that will be kind of, oh, see, look, I just learned something new today. Salt wash is a type of salt medium. Perfect. Another thing that's awesome are salt baths. So if you have ever tried sensory deprivation or floating, I do that once or twice a month in 1,300 pounds of salt water. It's all heated up to 94 degrees, and you can go lights out or meditation music or silence. And it is so amazing and so healing what happens when you can just shut everything down and actually hear yourself think. And then when you can actually turn off that voice too and just sit in silence. Oh, I love scratchy grain. I love texture. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's healing. You know, we're so overstimulated all the time. All right, you guys. So, yeah, so here's another way you can use the cards. You can just pull 2 or 3 for yourself. You don't have to do a pick a pile. So you can say, all right, first one, maybe pull one thing from this card, right? Techniques. Stay in your pajamas all day. This is my favorite part about working from home, is not having to wear a bra and wearing my pajamas. And what I call the house hoodie, where it's like the most comfortable hoodie I own. And then I'll wash it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not gross. But it's like the hoodie I'll wear all week long, where I'm just like, just leave me alone. I'm warm. I'm cozy. I'm comfortable. So then you pick one thing from the techniques, one thing from the decorate, frame, box, candlestick, tray. And then you can pick one card or one thing off this list, add a 3D effect. Cast a mold. Oh, I do need to get the pixie mold, the Pixie Doh. Raised stencil, wood cutout beads, laugh out loud. Oh, I laugh out loud all the time. So the card that, or the one that I had, was telling myself I appreciate. So one of the things I like to do as a practice is I do mirror work. And so I will make eye contact with myself in the mirror. And it's a little awkward the first couple of times, because a lot of the times we might look at ourselves briefly in the mirror to just kind of like make sure we're put together. But how many times have you actually looked at yourself the way that somebody else does or doesn't? When's the last time you made eye contact with yourself and just told yourself some nice words and and said, like, this is what I love about you? And sometimes I cry. Sometimes I'm just like just breathing, and I'm just connecting with myself. So I appreciate my resilience. That's what I'm going to say I appreciate about myself today. I appreciate my resilience and my ability to push through things. Okay. So, texture medium. Get my little... One day I'm going to scrape this off, but like, I'm kind of gross where I just like to let it collect. I don't know. Does anyone else do that? Is anyone else like a really messy artist? All right. So since I'm gonna do, and I've been practicing with like these little scenes, and if you saw our post the other day, it was like a little magical enchanted forest. That was not my original idea. Um, I follow this other gouache artist, and because our magical chalk paints are really, really thick, uh, they work really well for the gouache tutorials because there's the opacity that you can build up with them. And I know a lot of you guys are using them for furniture, which I have, and I'm actually getting ready to work on a big armoire piece. I just have to, I'm flipping my garage to be my studio so I can do more furniture pieces and do more stuff on the Paint Pixie YouTube page as well as mine. Oh, she saves her scrapes. That's kind of cool. What can I do with it? And then back when my mom and I were painters, we used to have our overalls that we would cover that were covered in paint. And then we saw them at the store one day that they were selling them already covered in paint. And we're like, dang, like we really missed out on an opportunity, didn't we? So, all right. Let's see what I'm going to use today. And then whoever wins the little mini deck, I'll send you whatever I end up painting today. As long as it isn't horrible. We'll see if I can paint and talk at the same time. I usually, when I do these readings and stuff like that, or, you know, I'm busy and like flipping cards and channeling, getting information from whatever information you need to hear at the time, right? I like using the Lil D for blending background stuff. Oh, and then yeah, the YouTube that I posted the other day was it was just like a very quick, like a 60-second. It wasn't like a full live tutorial. I was more so just testing out our products to see like how I liked them and on canvas or on because I made my mom a birthday gift. So, all right, we got these two that I like for blending backgrounds. All right. So tell me, I'll let you guys pick color palette. Should I do blues, greens? You want purples and pinks? Is there one deck or multiple decks? If you're talking about the Paint Pixie one, it's just the one deck that you'll see on our website. If you're talking about me, I have 3 that I've created. Okay. And I can do blues and greens together because they actually work out really well. And I'm a big blender. Pinks, purples. I know I could have made big on that. Could have made a killing. Could have seen paint overalls at H&M. Okay. Oh, yes. See? Almost forgot. So, if you go to the website and search and add the deck right now, there's automatic sale. You don't have to enter a promo code or anything like that. So instead of 22, there'll be 19. And it's fun to use with the kids and stuff like that. Let them pick. I had a girls' night the other night, and we all tested the deck out. And even though my friends aren't artists, they were still having fun. All right, so it looks like I got a lot of blues. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you can catch the rest later and find some inspiration. All right, so our Paint Pixie blues. I'm gonna get a little bit of a green too. All right, so Caribbean cooler. I basically take a little bit of all of our blues because I like to mix and blend. And I'm a big, like, I like wet on wet when I paint. So it's Caribbean. And it's funny because I went to go order some paints for this uh, armoire project that I'm working on. And I'm like, Mom, like, I don't know the sizes. How much is 32 ounces? How much is like, I don't know what I'm ordering here. I know 2 ounces are the small bottles, and then 8 ounces are those. It's so nice to meet you, Pat. Thank you for stopping in. And then I learned that is 32, which is a quart. So, all right. Sugar glass. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is work on this little, we'll do a little scene. And we're going to start with the upper corner being the lightest, and we'll kind of work our way to like a slightly diagonal gradient almost. So we'll have our different blues. Watermelon rind is one of my favorites just in general because I like it and it's pretty and it makes me happy and it reminds me of the ocean in Costa Rica, or the ocean over there in general, because it's way prettier than the ocean over here on the West Coast. Thank you, Liz. Make sure you have blackberry cobbler. That's going to be your darkest blue, but then I also will add some licorice to blend an even darker, because basically we're going to work our way like lighter to darker. Yes, I will try. Is there a way that I could jump and put my phone, because I have my phone thing here. Sorry, I didn't plan that part in advance. I just knew we were launching the deck and I was excited. Okay. Oop. Hold on. I'm gonna see if, is there a way to like, I know YouTube, I know Zoom. I don't think there's a way that I can jump into the live. All right, sorry. I'm gonna have to problem solve that a different day because, yeah. So today's gonna be more about socializing. Sorry, Barb. So, lighter to darker. And, sorry, with some licorice because I'm gonna blend. I'm excited. This giant armoire that I'm gonna paint. I love it because a lot of I'll watch a lot of your guys's videos, and you guys are very bright and vibrant. And then I'm like, I'm gonna paint this armoire black. I'm gonna paint it black. And then I'm gonna cover it in different, like I love this liquid, the statue. What is it? Statuary. So I'm gonna add like deep, that dark bronze, and then we're out of this, or we're discontinuing Enchanted Forest. But if anybody has extra, let me know. I might be able to buy it off you, because I think I want to use those with my black, and then I have like florals that I'm gonna do. All right, so we're gonna do like an kind of just an oval-ish shape. So don't worry about filling up the whole thing. And then actually I'm gonna go for the joy brush. Yeah, Enchanted Forest. How do we get that back? We want Enchanted Forest back. We're probably the only ones that love it. Limited edition. And then let us know also in the comments, because this will also continue to add you into our giveaway. What's your favorite Paint Pixie brushes? What are your favorites? Oh, and I'm actually going to get some cream puff. No longer available at all. Dang. Wah, 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 wah. Cream puff, just so I can have the lightest value also. Cream puff's just like a... I love that everything is named after foods. Okay. My brush is dry. I am just gonna... I think I warped my palette on accident. I was filming myself shrink wrapping all these decks because shrink wrapping is my favorite, and it's basically the only reason. I'm laying down my cream puff first. The top. And this is my first time using this aside from watercolors, so we're gonna see how it goes. Anyways, I bought a heat gun because I kept seeing you guys use the heat guns for your stuff to dry faster, and I was like, I just want to use the heat gun. And then I found out that it's for shrink wrapping, and I'm like, oh my god, I just want to shrink wrap everything. Okay, so I am just working my way, and then I'm going to blend it. And then so my mom and I used to paint murals, and my favorite was always the kids' rooms. I love whimsical things. I love doing illustrations. I love getting lost into these different worlds of magic and make believe. And even when I watch cartoons with my kids now, like, I'm looking at the set design, I'm looking at things, you know, and even with photography, I'm obsessed with lighting and creating scenes. So now I'm going in with the blueberry cobbler to the bottom. Well, my camera is on my laptop. So you get a bunch of boob. If you're okay with that, then you can watch me paint. I guess I gotta keep it over here. Okay, so I know, but you know, might have to pay extra for this view. Just kidding. Just kidding, Mom. Just kidding. So now you can see that there's a little gradient. And normally I would actually be like tape down my paper, but hold on. So hopefully, I don't know if these little lights help or make it worse. I also don't know if my screen has a smudge. Okay, so light. Oh yeah, and that's like a little Amazon. My friend got it for me because since I do the podcasting. So yeah, you can mute the mic. lightest to darkest. I started with the light first and then just worked my way to the blackberry cobbler at the bottom. And then those little brighter spots are the cream puff. Okay, so that can stay pretty, like the opacity on that can stay very opaque. Sorry. Anyways, okay, so now I'm gonna get my very beat up and well loved and well used turquoise iris brushes because these are my go-to. That I probably need like 3 sets of these. I use them all the time. I also paint chalkboard signs and stuff like that, and so you can use Paint Pixie stuff for chalkboard signs. If you water it down a little bit and help it to move, then all you need to do to remove it later on, I usually use like hot water and isopropyl alcohol, and then that will remove the paint if you ever need to make a chalkboard sign for your next vendor fair or whatever you make chalkboard signs for. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to paint little trees in the background. And since I'm working with a tiny palette, I'm going to use one of my smaller brushes at first. This one, I am looking at my canvas when I'm looking down. I'm going to work left to right, darker to lighter, because then basically what it's going to be once we're all done, so it'll be darker, more see-through trees, like it's just going to be like background stuff, but we have to water down our paints to get it to I mean, you could keep it if you want to keep the opacity, but I'm going to water mine down because I'm going to want mine see-through, and then later on I'll add like highlights and stuff like that. So eventually the sun or the light source is going to be here peeking down to like this way. And hold on to get my water. What do you use for your water jar? Mine's an instant coffee one. Today, I change it. But also be careful not to put your water next to your water jar, because I have most definitely accidentally put my paintbrushes in my coffee cup. Okay, I'm gonna go to the watermelon rind and add. Do you guys want to hear that? It's like ASMR. I love that. I love when I can't sleep and I'll watch different videos where people don't talk and it's not loud music blasting. Like that's one of my complaints of TikTok and Instagram is like it's so loud. Why do we have to have so much noise? Maybe that's because I'm 40 now and everything's loud and bright. Just adding a little more water there. So I was like, I think I'm going to relaunch an art page, and it's not going to have any music. It's just going to be either silence or talking. Because I can't stand the music. Okay, so now we're doing like the tree trunks, like little, and I would say start them probably like in between a half and two, like this little section right here is where I'm gonna kind of start them. See, I found my people. It's too noisy. What are we doing? And then I'm gonna add a little bit of the blackberry. And I like to make them like creepy, and then we can add to it too. So just like a little tiny, hold on, I'll throw a couple of these down. and forgive me in my half sentences, going live and painting while I talk is like playing an instrument and singing at the same time. And I'm used to the kind of art therapy where I'm like, welcome back, Mom. Where I usually am like music or silence so that I can process my thoughts, because art is meditative and it is a meditation practice for sure. Um, it can, again, help get you unstuck. You can set the intention too when you go to sit and paint. Um, like, show me my heart, and then make a painting, and it doesn't have to make sense. Show me what I need to know. Show me where I'm stuck. Show me something joyful that I need to be thankful of. And you can set whatever intention you want. So just kind of, that first one was a little, it's okay. And it doesn't matter. Don't worry. You can get it out of the, wait, I missed something. Yeah, next time I'm going to figure out how to, Facebook is not my place. I feel like I stumble through Facebook. So I will figure out how to do the aerial perspective. And then next time I paint for you guys, I promise it'll be better. So just kind of going in with the lighter values now and adding some stuff. The biggest part with painting and creating is not to overthink it. You have to let it like channel through you. You have to make mistakes. You have to start something and then work on it and then shift and adjust. Yep. There's so many times where I literally will sit down to create something and I'm like, I don't know what I'm here to make today, but I know I just need to put the brush to paper or to canvas or do something, right? So these would be cute to do like spooky little forests, like for Halloween or color themed. So if somebody, I'm going to add more like transparent ones in the back because this didn't show up very well. Yeah, so my mom came and stayed with me for a couple days and kind of felt bad because I had a lot of work to do while she was here, and we had every intention to flip my garage while she was here, and I was just like, oh shoot, I literally went from photo shoot to photo shoot to photo shoot. Even last night I was shooting at the Aria, and as soon as I'm done here I gotta finish editing those photos. So now I'm kind of going in and adding a little bit of depth, a little bit of, I'm shaping some of the stuff, adding some shadows and some highlights. And remember, I'm not using a pure white or anything like that. I'm basically just using the brighter values of the blue and then the darker values of the blue for the shadows. And this is one thing I do talk about on my show too, is like life, we're artists. Life is not meant to be all highlights. It is not meant to be bright, light, this, that, perfect all the time. The depth comes from the shadows and the highlights. We have lived a great life if we have both. Because what good is a painting or a piece of art if it's pure white, right? Sorry, adding a little bit more of the transparent ones back there. Okay. Thank you. Okay, I think it's time to pull another affirmation. So if you just popped in, we are giving away our Magical Mystery Deck, which is our Paint Pixie Magical Mystery Deck. Hold on, I'm going to move this up real quick so you can see my face again. So giving away one of these if you leave a comment. And then I'm also throwing in one of my I Am Affirmation decks. So you just got to drop a comment and subscribe to our YouTube. We'll get you extra. All right, so this is your I Am. Whoa. All right, okay, your guys' energy. I am safe. I am learning to trust others. And, sorry, a whole bunch of them flipped over. Pick one more. Yep, so one of my best friend and business partner, he and I created this deck. We both have our own show, so mine is Souls and Stardust, and then his is a positive mind with positive vibes. I am calm and collected. Breath work is everything. Breathing is everything. We don't realize how much we hold our breath and hold all the stress and tension from the day when we have, whether it's partners or kids, grandkids, people in general that just need from us and need. And we're like, sometimes you just got to breathe and let it go. Bottom of the deck is that I am starting fresh. And let's pull one of these. This is not my deck. I did not create this one. Empathy with the turtle. So what does that mean for you? What does empathy mean for you? Bottom of the deck, transcend. So the way that I interpret these two cards with the turtle and the transcend is that it doesn't matter how slow you're going, as long as you're going and as long as you're making movement forward, you're going to get there when you're meant to get there. You're going to live and experience the things for however long it takes for you to get to that place. So the turtle tells us, right? We know the turtle and the hare story. It's the consistency. It's the consistency of movement, right? The empathy. Jenna said to care. Yep, empathy is being able to care and put ourselves in other people's shoes and perspective and just to feel their pain, right? Or their joy. Feel them, right? Oh, you're so sweet, Tammy. Okay, so this should be dry. So now I'm going to grab some greens. We're going to get Christmas cookie and sour apple. And I think I'm going to grab, yep, feeling emotions for each other. How much, when we can actually stop and be present with people and not let the things that make us different stop us from being friends or from loving on each other, right? Some people are very closed-minded and won't talk or do anything like that's outside of their comfort zone. So when we have empathy for people, we're meeting them where they're at. And some of us haven't had this perfect unicorn, light and love life. Sometimes, and I commented this on one of the posts the other day, where we're talking about Little Red Riding Hood. And I was like, yeah, well, some of us aren't meant for unicorns and rainbows. Some of us are here to face darkness and be brave and get through some stuff in this life. And unfortunately, we don't really know until we get here, right? Lemon crinkle. I'm going to add that for my highlight color because we're going to do the grass now. And if you want this, oh, actually, sorry, I lied. We're not lemon crinkling. My mom does have the biggest heart. And I used to joke growing up, I'm like, my mom's like Martha Stewart and Mary Poppins. And she's so sweet and she's so thoughtful and she's so nice. And then, you know, there was a while I didn't really watch her paint pixie videos and stuff like that. Just, you know, life, busy, had a kid, had a second child, and, you know, my own businesses to run. And it's like, then I start watching her and I'm like, wow, like people care about my mother deeply and, you know, are so vocal about it. I love your mom, whatever you need, whatever help you need. Like, it's so refreshing, but also because I know my mom isn't full of crap. Who you see is who you get. Just put it that way. The Josie you see is the Josie that you get in person. The high pitch, the giggles, the laugh. Yep. I've made from the darkness to see some light. Yeah. And what's crazy, back to the empathy, right? Like I was talking to someone recently and they were like, you've seen me through light and dark. Like I'll always care for you. Like I'm grateful for you. And I was like, that means a lot. But I was also like, I'm not scared of the dark. I'm not scared of the darkness because I've had to go through all of that to find myself. And then being an artist, it all makes sense because I'm like, photography is the study of light. Photography is literally taking a dark object, putting light on it to create shape. We're going to do our darkest values first. So again, we're going to work from dark to light to create our, we're going to start filling in dark green, and then I'm gonna add in that middle value green, and then towards like the tops of like the little bushes and stuff, I'll add like those little touches of the lighter green to a little bit of the yellow, and we'll blend some of that in, and then I'll probably change my mind 10 times. So yes, empathizing with people, because you just don't know where they're at in life, and how dare you make someone's day worse when you can make it better? How dare you, right? Hold on 2 seconds. Let me grab a paper towel. Yeah, back to the just leave people better than you found them. Let them be. Let them. You don't make life harder than it has to be for anybody. And that goes for our children, especially the kids in our lives. I'm huge on watch what you say and how you say it, because you don't know how many times that's going to repeat in somebody's head, your words. So yeah, I definitely agree with that, having empathy to love. I'm going to add a little bit more highlights to this. And I'm actually going to do a little bit of licorice. Let me say that again. A little bit of licorice. Say that 10 times. A little bit of licorice with the blackberry cobbler I want a little bit darker. Now that it's drying, I can see that I want a little bit more depth to just a couple of the trees. And then I can go in afterwards. So licorice and blackberry cobbler and some water. One of my personal goals, and I'll tell you guys, I want to illustrate a children's book. So I want to get really good at creating little scenes so that I can make books that will help kids not feel so alone in their journey. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but these children now, they're way smarter than we were, and way, like, the empathy, like emotional intelligence on these kids these days. Yay, Wi-Fi. Like, you know, some kids need to hear if they're gonna grow up and wanna, whether it's a book about becoming an artist. Not everyone wants to be a freaking firefighter and policeman. You know, there are some people that are meant to make murals and leave their art in this world. There are some people, like, not everybody is meant to fit in your cookie cutter idea of success. Not everybody is, you know, like I said, some people have different childhoods. Some people don't grow up with both parents and they need, you know, whatever the situation is, helping them to just not feel alone and to have some positive, encouraging words that can be the, you know, the thing that they can tap into when they're feeling whatever they're feeling. Because there are some kids that grow up like me, super sensitive to energy and very intuitive. Some of you might actually even be what's called highly sensitive person, where you're like, oh man, back to the lights and the sounds, where you're like, I'm just really sensitive to a bunch of stuff. Or when somebody's feeling a particular way, whether it's on the spectrum of joy to, you know, anger or any other kind of like thing that's dense and heavy type of emotion. So when those people walk into the room and you can feel it, those are the kind of those are my people that I usually like, hey, I understand you. I like, you're not alone in being sensitive in this world. Or like me also, where, you know, I kind of grew up having dreams about people and things that would come true, and you can't really talk to people about certain things because they'll send you to the loony bin and they'll think you're crazy, but you're like, but it's crazy because then I had this dream and then it happened and then it kept happening more and more and more. And so, you know, not telling somebody, not judging somebody for their experiences, and becoming a safe space for people. Intrinsic feelings. Oh, I like that. I'm just adding some cream puff mixed with, is it the Caribbean cooler? Sorry. Next time I'll write down. It's okay. Learning lessons, right? I'll fix the camera next time. And then I'll also, and hopefully the audio is good on that part at least. So just adding some dimension. Can you guys see it? Okay. Now, for the greens, I'm going to go back to I'm going to go to the Joy brush, which that's my daughter's middle name. Sensitive to others and how they feel regardless of how I'm feeling. Yep. So that was kind of how I noticed my sensitivity to people's energy and emotions, and being a highly sensitive person. Like, certain places I would leave and feel completely drained and like not know why. Certain people I would see, and every time I left them, I would want to vomit. Awesome. Yep. Certain people's energy and negativity, and you can feel that when they speak to you, their words are just like, oh, and you're like, hold on, back it up, time out, slow, right? So I always encourage people, like, you have to know your baseline energy and personality so well, so that nobody else can come and mess with you and try to tell you about yourself. Nobody else can come and tell you who you are or are not based off their rules and their values. That's big for me. Everyone is on their journey. Everyone has their autonomy. We came into this world as individual souls, and we'll transition out one day. It's inevitable. So I'm mixing darks with a little bit of the lights. I'm gonna go a little bit darker in this corner. The way that I'm gonna blend this little bottom corner, I'm gonna mix the I think I'm gonna go between the watermelon rind, blackberry cobbler, and then dip it in that Christmas cookie. Yes, Gloria. Yep, you're lucky too if you learn this at your age, usually in your late 50s when you realize this. Well, luckily I have beautiful souls who have experienced life around me, and they're brutally honest. And I just try to listen and pay attention to when people speak who are wiser and smarter than me and can actually prove, and that I actually respect. That's the other thing. I'm very, very stubborn. And if I don't know you, you don't just automatically get my respect. I will respect you. I will be cordial. But if you choose to try to speak into my life without knowing my backstory and without knowing all the things I've been through, yep, I will very much check out, and you'll have a wall in front of me where I'm like, okay, thank you. Thank you for your unsolicited opinion. Have a great day. If it makes you happy. I'm very big on that. What makes you happy? Happy and joy, using the joy brush, right? When we're like hearing kids giggle, or when we're giggling with our girlfriends because we can't stop laughing because, we got a case of the giggles really bad, right? And life is funny. Like, I was laughing with my mom the other day. We went to go see my 87-year-old grandmother who lives in assisted living, and we're going to drop her off. I'm adding a little bit of the lights back onto the dark right now, and light at the top of my brush and the darker. We're dropping off my grandma, and I was like, okay, do you want to go get her signed back in, right? Okay. Bless my mom, right? She comes back, we can't find her key. I'm like, Mom, she's wearing it as a bracelet around her wrist. It's the blind leading the blind over here. She's like, oh my God. And we just laughed and laughed and laughed. Just laughed and laughed and laughed. Because sometimes, and then I'm going to take this one to blend it a little bit more. It's just like, that's all you could do, right? Like, oh, being silly. And I'm just trying to like soften up. But you can see the values, right? You can see how we started, and we darker to the light. You can see it's like coming together. So that's the one thing I do love about my mother is like we can actually have a really good laugh. We can have serious talks. We can have all types of talks, but the ones where we just laugh together, because it's such a high vibration, joy and laughter, and being into that energy of like, I love you so much that I can be my raw, authentic self with you. Like, that's dope. I'm gonna add a little bit of the yellow in, and I'm gonna use this brush. And even with my kids, we laugh all the time. Like my daughter, she cracks me up. I'm glad they got our humor. Like my ex-husband was really funny too. And so my kids are really witty. Oh, sorry. I'm going introvert mode where I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot to talk out loud. Oh, thank you, Jadis. Yeah. And, I understand. So that's the other thing, too. Like, if we want to go back to, like, illustrating or the children's books, not every little kid has even a mom that shows up for them. unfortunately, like there are some stories and some people I meet who it's like their moms are the ones who left. Their moms are the ones who didn't show up for them um, in life. You know, I hear more stories of mothers abandoning their kids nowadays, and I'm like, how in the. Okay, they must have a reason. There has to be something to their story. This has to be part of this person's journey. It doesn't always have to make sense to us to know what's on a soul expansion level for somebody else. And it's not for us to decide either. That's the thing. There's a lot of people in this world who think that they have a say in strangers' lives. And it's like, you don't. None of us like to be mansplained. You want to tell me how to paint, or I've had men walk up to me in public while I'm photographing my couple and go, "You know what you should do? You should be using this lens instead." And I'm like, "Who are you, stranger? Go piss off." I have no idea who you are. Um, now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get my turquoise iris icon, and leader is one of my absolute. I have so many favorites. Yeah, yeah, like you. Okay, doing the intuitive work that I deal with clients from all faiths and backgrounds. Okay, so I don't tell somebody that they can or can't get a reading from me just because they grew up one way or they're, you know, a soul is a soul, energy is energy. It's just that's all we're tapping into as humans that like look at we can speak telepathically with our kids. We can convey messages to our best friends without saying a word. We think of them, they call. So that's the basis of, everything that I do. So I don't tell people who can or can't access what they need to know. Like, we don't gatekeep. We don't gatekeep things that help people heal. We don't gatekeep that kind of stuff. We're here to love and support each other, no matter what we look like this lifetime or where we're located. I'm getting a really, really watered down version of, I'm going to start with the sour apple. And I'm just going to do like little tiny, we're going to do like little foliage and sprouts of leaves. I went the wrong direction. But luckily, paint is paint. And we can start over and we can paint over. We can do whatever we want because it's paint. That was one thing, a life lesson that my mom inadvertently taught me was like, if it's paint, you just paint over it. And so I took that into my life when it came time to starting over and starting fresh. I'm like, this actually applies a lot of ways. That is awesome. You still, yeah, both my parents are still around too. My dad's actually, he's out visiting the Philippines right now. And I moved back to Vegas to be closer to my parents. And then my mom sold her house and moved to Sedona. Love you all. So I'm just kind of doing like really transparent, like kind of grassy things popping out from these little bushes. And I can see also like because I didn't use my heat gun to dry, but also like I said, this paper. Still figuring it out. What I like, which papers are my favorites. This one I just got on Amazon. I did faceless watercolor portraits for a wedding, which that was awesome because I've been a wedding photographer since 2009. And so this was like, I got to incorporate my love of paint and do it at weddings without having to bring my camera and actually like photograph the wedding. here's what we got going on so far. Can you see? Oh, definitely. I love coming down to Sedona. I've just been so busy. Okay. Hold on, I'm going to dry that real quick. Let me mute that. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to add a little bit more because those were kind of the really transparent greens. And now I'm just going to add a little bit more of the like, remember when we're working with this one, it's best to work darkest to lightest. One of my other favorite things to do when I'm illustrating is I like to do watercolors, and then I'll do something and then I'll take like the graphic pens, and I love outlining with these. It's like my satisfaction moment. Don't question it. What's your oddly satisfying thing? I like to peel the tape. I also like to watch those videos where they clean really dirty rugs. Maybe I should blame my mom for that one, making things clean. So yes, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. We're going to have some original content that will be just on YouTube. I will be working as soon as I finish this garage. And then I'm also going to be I'm working on archiving all of our old Facebook videos and moving those to YouTube. And then I'm going to be organizing those by, what's it called? By category, so that it's easier to search. And because like I'm more on YouTube than Facebook. And so I figure there's a whole nother clientele of artists who are there and not here. So I'm like, they need to know about Paint Pixie. So it feels a little boring at first when you're just doing one color, right? But then you start adding in the lighter ones on top of it and layering it. And okay, peel glue off your finger. Yes, I loved that when I was a kid too, though. But I could totally see that now. So if you love to peel glue off your fingers, you would do really well with some peel off masks for your face, because you get to like all right, so I'm not going to spend too much time adding more, but okay, so now we're going to go in and start doing our outside darkest colors, and we're going to start making our dark shadow of not tree trunk, I guess tree trunks, but it's not really the word I'm looking for. And I'm going to use Lil Edge Turquoise Iris. Okay, so let's do, how do I want to do this? I'm going to do licorice, and then I'll add in blackberry cobbler and stuff like that. So now basically what we're doing is silhouetting. So the entryway to this little for Magical Paint Pixie Forest, which you guys, I should just reach out to that gouache artist and see if she wants some paint pixie brushes, because you know, since our stuff is so magical, she does these really, really cool scenes like this. All right, so now what we're doing, my favorite part is not having to be perfect. And this is licorice. Okay, so we'll clean this up and add some detail, but my intention is that whoever wins this Paint Pixie Magical Mystery deck plus this, plus the affirmation deck, would use it to make people's lives better and brighter with the art and the creation that they make. I hope it keeps you inspired to create and to heal all the inner child stuff, because that's basically what we're doing. We're healing our inner children, doing stuff maybe we didn't, some of us had to put it down, pick it back up as kids. I should reach out to her. Okay, so first round, it's just that. Okay. Now I'm gonna add some like branches, kind of. And our paints are thick with 2 C's. So keep that in mind. It took me a little bit of time to like get used to them, especially like because I came off a medium like watercolors. So you can see I'm starting to bring some of like the branch, like create some branches. And I'm still on licorice right now because I'm gonna add the depth with like the blackberry and the other blue values. I'll bring those in. Yeah, not everybody can be doctors, nurses, firemen, and military. Like, you know, I'm Filipino, so everyone's expected to be something like that, right? And I'm like, not everybody is cut from that same cloth. I'm sorry. Not everybody is meant, or you go through a season in your life where maybe you were a nurse or you were a doctor, you were something, a CPA, some sort of professional, and that's what you served your life doing, and now you get to be free and like get back to coloring again and being young at heart and going, I'm gonna make this stuff because it makes me happy. Okay, so these are going to be the thicker lines. Now let's go to the leader. You know, yeah, she is a gift. I may not have thought that way when I was a teenager growing up and she checked me and let me know about myself. She basically said, so my real name is Melissa. Melissa, the world does not revolve around you. And I was like, it doesn't? Since when? Since when? And then she was right. Look at that. My mother was right. Who would have thought? Making sure. All right, we're still good on time. I think it's time to pull another affirmation while this is drying for a second. So let's pick a Paint Pixie card. So if you're just catching the live now and you want a Paint Pixie card to inspire you for today, pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. I create what makes me happy. Yep, and if I ever create out of a place of pain, hurting, or heartbreak, it's usually going to be something written, like I'll write poetry or I'll just journal. But if I'm, and then sometimes I will sit with my watercolors if I'm, but I don't ever want to gift those works to people because it's like being in a crappy mood and cooking for somebody and then serving them your crappy energy. So we don't want to do that. All right. Pile 1. Your task Your idea is to make a card or a postcard, which I love handwritten things, and I will literally keep it forever. If oh no, frozen screen. Hopefully it was not a awful face. I love handwritten things, and I will literally keep it forever and ever and ever if somebody gifts me something, because it's them. It is a piece of them. So, pile one, make a card or postcard. Make it a love card, a thank you card, a congratulations, or an I'm sorry, and then gift yourself something. Go treat yourself. Make yourself a little treat. Your affirmation. Hey, okay, so this must be the message of the day, because this is the second time this came out. I am learning to trust others. Pile two. Pick a season, winter, spring, summer, or fall, and light a candle at mealtime. So that's pile two. Your affirmation. I am calm and collected, which definitely creating art when I'm in my Zen flow keeps me calm. Pile three, which looks like we got a lot of pile threes. Techniques, metal, patina, age or vintage, making something, aging it, or checks. I'm assuming check. Mom, what is checks? But also stay in your pajamas all day. Your affirmation, pile three. I am manifesting the life that I deserve. And this is huge because when you are a creator, you are an artist, that's all. Oh, they know. Okay, as long as they know what checks are. Oh, like a checkerboard. Okay. Okay. So I don't need to overcomplicate it. I'm like in my head, like, is this some sort of ancient technique? Like, I am manifesting the life that I deserve. You are a creator. You're an artist, which means you literally have the capability to create the life of your dreams. Period. You can either continue to live the same and do the same as you did yesterday and the day before and the day before, or as a creator and artist, you can choose to think of an idea, envision, what do I want to change in my life? How do I want my life to feel? And the minute that you start envisioning things and using your imagination, which is what we do, we're artists, we use our imaginations, you have the capability to change your life and change your trajectory, because now you're not just on the same path. Now you're like opening up a new neuro pathway to trying something new. So this should be dry enough. I'm going to start adding more of the blackberry cobbler. And let's see, let's pull one of these. All right, pick a number one, two, or three one more time. Sorry. You're so wise. Pile one. It's the praying mantis, and the word is receptivity. Are you receptive to truth, correction, wisdom, advice from others? I already told you my perspective. I don't automatically respect and believe people just because they're though trained to do so. I'm very much like, I'll believe you once I see that you can back that up. Oh my gosh, my mom just said, you're so wise. Look at what pile two is. The owl, wisdom. And the owl is, you could see at night, and it's fully aware in the darkness. And what were we talking about today? Shadows, right? If you picked pile three, love. Pure, unconditional love. And what I love about love, so the bad part, in English, we are very limited to what we can convey and articulate in words. It's very hard to describe the feeling of love in all her different forms, not just a romantic love, not just it's like the love that we have with our friends, the love where we can romanticize parts of our love or our lives and we can fall in love with like just the the sweetness of everyday life. Like the moment where you're like, oh, my coffee is the perfect temperature in my hand in my mug, and I feel so happy right now. Like those little bits of love in all her ways. The connection we have with our kids. Like I didn't know how deep and far, like I had no clue the depths of love until I had children. Yeah. There's the link is in the description box for my podcast, and all the booking info is in there. I do have some mini YouTube readings coming up on March 3rd, which is Sunday. The link that I posted in the description is you just pay $15, and then I go live on YouTube. You don't have to be present during the live, and I get the list of the people who have reserved their spot, and then basically I'm doing a live and I'm channeling and reading, and you can go to my YouTube page and watch the last few ones I just did. And then basically send you the link with the timestamp to your reading. Readings are about 10 minutes. That's kind of like people's way to sample and test just to see. So far, all the feedback I've gotten has been extremely positive, where it doesn't matter. They're like, I'm already crying and I'm 60 seconds in. 3. Look at that. And 3 is such a good number too, right? Well, happy early birthday. Okay, I'm gonna quit talking a little bit. Well, not quit talking, but I'm gonna start painting again now that my black is a little dry. So let's go in and add some blackberry cobbler. So some of them I'm going over the black. Some of it I'm letting it become new branches. Okay, so what do you think of the Magical Mystery deck so far? Do you think that this is a cute, fun way that you can, like, whether you're creating for yourself or get the kids involved? Yep, and 3 Pisces season. So Pisces are very sensitive, very compassionate souls. They're like connected directly to God, source, just pure and very creative. Usually the Pisces that I know are very into music and movies and things that take you into other realms of imagination. Also very emotional. My daughter, her birthday's on the 12th, and she always says, I love yearning. I'm like, you're so funny. I love yearning too. I'm also going to do some little like hanging things from the branches. Okay. All right. So yes, my mother's an angel. She just cares so much about you all. And everything that she thinks of, she's considering. Son and granddaughter. She has all of you guys in mind when she's about to do something. And when we brought up this idea, we were just like, oh, this is the colliding of both of our worlds. Because I was a painter before I was a photographer. And I think it always made my mom a little sad that I kind of put my paintbrushes down to pick up my camera. But then I also went and raised a family. And so now I joke and say camera in one hand, paintbrush on the other. Sorry. And I think it just depends on what I need to articulate for the day. Sometimes I speak with my hands. Sometimes, the art's going to come out the way that it needs to when you let it. Yeah, agreed. Oh, a bazillion years ago. A literal bazillion. And I appreciate you guys spending your Friday here with me. It means a lot. And I'm very much who's meant to be there will be here. Who's meant to watch this will watch. Whoever's meant to get these messages, whoever needs that encouragement, whoever, you know. And if you do end up going and listening to my podcast, you know, just go in with an open mind and realize everything is just from my personal human experience and perspective. I've been through a lot of stuff. I've survived a lot of trauma. And so it's just, it's an outlet to be able to speak freely about these things, you know, in combination with processing, because trauma comes out when it wants to. And a lot of the times we think we have shoved things so far away, or that because time from an event or incident has passed, we associate the healing with the time that has passed. And that is not necessarily true. It's like you can have some stuff go down with your parents, your siblings, family members when you're like 3-4 years old, that 5, 6, 7, some sort of rejection, some sort of belief. A parent could have neglected you. They might have loved you as best that they could, but if you needed more, or whatever thing you dealt with when you were growing up, we usually play these out in our relationships. And so sometimes 20, 30, 40 years later, there's something just, and even if you're like already married, you're like, I've been with this person forever, but yet there's these things that are coming up, and these wounds and these triggers and things that weren't there before, right? So sometimes the wounds come through, oops, that's too watery, when they need to be dealt with. And it's like pouring water in and watching everything come to the surface so that you can skim it and deal with it and not take things out on people, or to, you know, like we were talking about at the beginning, where we're like, what's going to make us better people? How can I just be a better human today than I was yesterday? I've moved to a lighter blue now, and I'm just kind of adding in some little squiggles. And then I'll go in. Hold on, I'll show you 1 second. And I know, like, even once you become a parent too, like, that changes everything. Because now, what happened to me when I became a parent, hey, 3 failed marriages are 3 major learning opportunities. That's like going to college 3 times. I even watched the language, because what happens, like when I went through my divorce, people who have their own belief systems surrounding divorce and marriage would project their belief systems onto me, not knowing a thing about my story, not knowing a thing about my situation or my relationship. And so they would do this, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, what are you sorry for? So now when people are going through divorces, I'm like, congratulations. You're no longer with somebody that you're misaligned with. Whether whoever wanted it or not, like, you don't know who's being emotionally and mentally abused behind closed doors. You don't know who's living a life with a partner that does absolutely nothing. And not saying this was my situation, but just some people's situation from the talking. You know, I have these kind of raw conversations with women all day, every day. And the bottom line is there's a lot of people who aren't happy in their relationships right now. And they haven't been happy for like 5-10 years. And we just keep going, we keep going, keep going. And it's like, oh, well, that's because I don't want to go through a divorce and this and that. And it's like, well, then something has to give. Something has to change. Somebody's got to change. You either got to shift your perspective, or hope that that other person does, right? But that's kind of what I'm saying, where it's like I now congratulate people where I'm like, I'm happy you're free. I'm happy that you made the best decision that you had to make at the time for you and your family, because nobody can ever put themselves in your shoes and be like, well, I would have, blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't have done that. Well, you're not the one that has to sleep with that person. You're not the one that has to be married to them. You're not the one that has to raise children in the same household with somebody, you know, with whatever addiction or whatever, fill in the blank, right? So we find our inner happiness. We make ourselves happy. We make ourselves full of joy. We make other people feel as good as possible. We raise our kids and grandkids and even our nieces and nephews, right? And we try to speak life into them so that when they're 40, when they're 50, they're not replaying somebody's negative projection of themselves in their voice saying, why would you become an artist? There's no money in that. Or they would curse you by saying, starving artist, starving artist, starving artist. That was, you know what I mean, but I said that backwards. We encourage. My daughter says, I want to be a full-time musician. Fabulous. Let me support that. And now she's guitar, multiple kinds of guitar, basses. She's a violinist. She's teaching herself the blues. Like, everything I can do to support her. Like yesterday, I had a very busy day, but I still made sure to go to her festival and go film that the judges judge them on for their performance. Because these are if we don't treat them like rock stars, if we don't speak life and say, yes, you can be a full-time musician, who else is going to? Somebody's going to come out here and go, well, there's no money in that, and you should really go do this instead and go follow the masses and go get this office job and blah, 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 and then retire when you're too old to freaking walk around and travel, when you're sick, right? I want the people in my life to live their life now. Yep, when you feel good internally, you can project. And that's the thing. People say, like, they're like, you're glowing now. My skin got better. Like all these little things. Sorry. I'm just chatting away. When you feel good about yourself and love on yourself and you talk nice to yourself, one of the things that I tell people when they sit in front of me to get their photo taken, even if it's a 1 hour photo shoot, or if they're sitting at my headshot station, like when I shoot these really big conferences and stuff, I'll do headshot stations, and literally 150 to 500 people can pop through, and I'm like 60 to 90 seconds of quick pop, 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 pop headshots, assembly line. It breaks my heart that it's usually 9 times out of 10 the women who, as soon as they sit down in front of me with my camera, their insecurities, they just start word vomiting everything they hate about themselves to me. I'm not photogenic, and I'm this, and I feel fat today, and my hair is really this, and da 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 da. And it's like, they go, I really need your help. And I'm like, first of all, no negative self-talk around me. Okay? You don't get to sit down and start word vomiting your negativity onto me. I didn't ask for all that. Okay? 2, you're beautiful right now, as you are, who you are. And if you would just radiate that confidence, you can start to see it about yourself too. So, all of that to say, watch how you talk to yourself, watch how you talk to others. Okay. This is turning out. I hope whoever gets this loves it. And I'll put like a little message on the back of it, because I like to do very intentional work. So I like to write little notes or like little hidden things, or whatever kind of comes to mind when I'm like tapping into people's energy. Usually the words just come out of like, here, this is what they needed to hear today. And that's what's actually cool, is this life is very magical if you let it be. I don't know. I think it's beautiful that we're artists because we get to see the world in color and possibilities. All right, so, and then should we do a pink or purple little plant in the middle? Thank you. Let's do, oh, maybe I can do, oh, I'll do a fairy. How about that? Okay, give me a second. It's not gonna be the cutest fairy in the whole world because this is the kind of stuff. Oh, that's genius. I'm sold out right now, but my deck, my IM deck, I have as a mini deck. And a lot of people, even when I've left them out for testers for some places, they steal them because they thought that they were part of it. So I got my business cards made up. So when I'm photographing different events, I basically made this into my business card. I did the I am loved image, and then I did the QR code, multimedia creator, photographer, artist, and then shop the full I am deck, listen to podcast episodes, guided meditations, and more. And that way they can actually keep them and not steal them. But even if they steal them, I figure they probably needed it more. Okay, so purple, we'll do purple. We'll do purple with pops of pink. Figgy pudding, which I've never had a figgy pudding in my life. So has anyone ever tasted figgy pudding? What is it? Oh shoot, that poured out heavy. Whoops, did not mean to. That happens too. Yeah, so if you know my story, I used to paint with my mom. She got me into painting because I owed a really big phone bill. Where is my... Oh, here it is. I had accidentally run up a very large text messaging bill. Sorry, Mom. But because of that, she was like, you're going to come learn to paint with me and work off your debts. And I didn't have a choice because I didn't have money for that. So I was like, okay, whatever you say. I mean, I like Fig Newtons, which I saw a meme the other day that was like, it was like futon is short for Fig Newton or something like that. It was so stupid, but it was like one of those really so stupid it made me laugh. Where is my other? See? Okay. I'm gonna go back to the icon brush for. So again, darkest values to lightest value. So I'm gonna go in with the purple, and I'll paint some little flowers in here. And next time, I promise I'm gonna get. So I have this little tripod. I'll next time I'll figure out how to stream so that I can. Maybe I'll do it. I'll figure it out. My brain. I don't know. So I'm gonna just go in with our figgy pudding and do just little like pops of purple clumps, kind of. This is gonna be different than the one that I did the other day. So this one, we'll make a little fairy chanted forest. Oh, that's a great idea. My grandkids wrote words of affirmation and inspiration on little rolled pieces of paper. And then, hold on, in a little box, and I pick one every day. It brings me joy. I love that. I love it. I love it. And it makes them be more mindful. Like that's the big thing with my kids is I try to just raise really mindful individuals who are loving, kind, accepting, you know, value diversity. And then I'm going to do little dots so we can try to do little like implied little fairy. We'll see. I don't know. Sometimes it sounds like a good idea at the time, and then I do. I'm like, all right, just ruined it, but that's okay. Oh, so we are going to keep the giveaway open so for 24 hours basically. So if later somebody catches the rewatch, we'll go and scroll through up until about this point tomorrow, and then we'll pick a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. And then don't forget, if you want to order the deck, it's on sale. So instead of 22, it's 19, so you get $3 off. I don't know the percentage of that because I'm an artist and I deal with colors. If it's not 10% or 20%, I don't know the quick calculations. Okay. So I just did little blobs of purple, and then I'll go in with a little bit of pink. Violet lemonade. I did it again. I just need to not squeeze so hard. But I just love it. All right. Thank you. 15%. Yay, Sarah! Yay! Yeah, math was not my strong suit. I always joked and I was like, wrong kind of Asian, like, because we're Filipino. Like, we're not known for being fabulous at math. Like, I was like, I'm an artist. I know colors. I can talk about feelings. I'm gonna talk about your childhood wounds and trauma on our first conversation, like it's nothing, and help you. But like, you want me to calculate some stuff? It takes me a minute. I need a paper and pen. So I actually went to community college when I first got out of high school. Community college is where I learned to do charcoal drawings. And charcoal, one of my favorite methods that we did was subtractive method. So basically we blacked out our entire page with charcoal and we began to carve and create our picture by removing the charcoal. And so, all these themes of light and darkness, right? And so you're blacked out and then you get an eraser and you start erasing strokes, and then you can see everything is starting to just take shape in front of your face. And I think that's what life is too, right? Sometimes it's not the white blank canvas, sometimes, where we're adding color to the white to create something. Sometimes it's like growing up and it's like darkness and stuff. And then creating the light, creating the highlights. So, all right, let me see if I can do a little. Oh, thank you. I'm glad, I hope it helps somebody. I hope that's, if anything, I just hope my life experience and all of that can just, if anything I've been through can bring understanding and reasoning to somebody else, even one person, I love it. That's why I think it's really important to open our mouths and talk and share with one another, not just the highlights of our lives, but the shadows too. But having people that are a safe space to do so is really huge. because there are some people that, you know, can't empathize because they've never been through what you've been through. Let's do, okay. Just doing a little cluster of some pink plants here. Some tongue twisters today. I'm just gonna add a little bit of that cream puff in. I could probably find a smaller brush than this, but oh, I don't want to let my mom hear that. It was a crunch. That means I didn't clean my brushes well enough. So what are your favorite Paint Pixie colors to blend and work with? Because I am rebuilding my Paint Pixie paint collection. I know I have a couple that I really absolutely love, but I just want to hear, like, what are your must-haves when it comes to your creations? Like, are there certain colors that you tend to work with every single time? Like, what draws you to those things? Oh yeah, and Janice Evolve. There are certain people where I'm like, you know, you kind of run into them every few years or whatever, and you're like, you're still the same person that you were 5, 10 years ago. Like, you're not going to evolve and change. Oh, okay. So you like the liquid dust. I got a big one of onyx that I can't wait to use. Ugh. So my plan for that armoire, um, I got a quart of it, but it's gonna go licorice, and then I got red velvet cake. I'm gonna hit for some red streaks that's gonna pop through, and then Enchanted Forest and Statuary, which we've already discovered how much we love Enchanted Forest, but it's discontinued. Okay, so here's what I got going on. Added some pink, little dots and stuff like that. And then I'm going to put a teeny tiny little fairy over that little pink bush. And if it looks ugly, I'm going to paint over it. That's what we're going to do. Actually, I'll start purple. Let's see. And I am totally winging this as I'm painting wings just because when I'm trying to do something that's like exact, it's a lot harder. The pressure's on. Everyone's watching me. Blue, green, yellow, orange. So do any of you have any like signs that you guys see often when you're thinking of people, or like you can see like the hummingbirds or bees at certain times where you're like, whoa, where'd that come from? Like I always see the hummingbirds, or I have a certain set of numbers that I'll see where I'm like, oh, there's my grandma, or there's this. Dragonflies. That's cool. We don't get a ton of them here, so when I see it, I know, I'm like, oh, there we go. And it's usually the timing That's the thing for me, is it's not just me looking for a hummingbird. It's like me thinking of my grandma and her sister, and then all of a sudden two hummingbirds come, fly in front of my face, stop right here and hover, and then take off. Where I'm like, oh, hello. I was just thinking of you guys. And not that the hummingbirds are them, but it's just that, you know, here's that little sign. Just a reminder. Okay. This does not look like a fairy, however. We're just gonna roll with that. Might be closer to dragonfly. Oh, pink dove means grandmother. Butterflies. Butterflies are very representative of transformation. Moths are the butterflies of the night. So for those who resonate more with nighttime or stuff like that. Yeah, the fairy didn't work out. So this might just be like a little butterfly. And then I'll have to, when I have more time, I can practice more. Yeah, so that's how it works for me, where I get messages. Sometimes I see it here, I'll hear it clear audiently, or I'll just feel it. Like I've had some really cool experiences reading for people who have had loved ones pass away and cross over. Because I don't know anything like about them. They'll just send me a photo of somebody, and then I will just tell them what I feel about the person. And sometimes these people show me, like, I've had somebody whose brother-in-law, I didn't even know who he was to her. She showed me the photo, and I was like, ooh. Suddenly, as soon as I looked at his photo, I felt this heaviness on my chest, and then I could taste asphalt in my mouth and like smell asphalt. And then I heard this big symphony in my head. And she goes, oh my God, that's crazy. He got hit by a truck and run over. And then at his funeral, we had a symphony play. And so I was like, all right, this is him coming through to say thank you for honoring him in that way. That's crazy, but it's also showing like, hey, I'm okay. There's no body on this side, like no physical body on this side. So there's no more pain. So it is, yeah. And then I've had people whose grandmothers come through and they had really bad arthritis. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I tap into them, my hands start like feeling this. I've done impromptu readings before where they show me a photo and all of a sudden, like, I just hear all this yelling and arguing. And I was like, oh, I hear this yelling and arguing. I was like, was she by chance an Aries? And they were like, yes, she was. She was. How'd you know that? And I'm like, I just am paying attention to my environment and paying attention to the things happening around me at this same time. Let's grab, I want to add a little bit so you can see how my fairy messed up. So it's just going to be like a little butterfly, but I need to use one of the liquid dusts. Oh, I need to order some more of this one. White sand. Oh wait, that is cookie dough. That is not a liquid dust. Oh my gosh, Janice, I have to come see you. That is my jam. I love stuff. See, that's the thing. She has a ghost tour business in Plymouth. That's kind of how it all happened for me, was like I was in a very dark place after I had my son. I had really, really bad postpartum. And that's when I started doing like meditations and really just trying to tap into like my mental health and regrounding myself, because I just felt very much not myself. And during these meditations, I would see my grandma, her sister. I would see and get these messages from these other people, people, places, stuff like that. And they would be validated. And so eventually, that's how it worked for me. So now I just use it to help others, to help them heal, because sometimes we just need someone that we don't know, that's a complete stranger, that when I can sit here and like tap in and get messages that only you knew, nicknames, memories, scents, personality, things about this person, that's when you know you're like, oh, like there's something to this. This is real. White sand, it's pretty. That's the one I'm using right now, just to add a little bit of the shine so that the little butterfly is what will be iridescent. And then I put dark purple little over here. Oh, okay. So speaking of that, Janice, traumatic injury, died, crossed over. That was one of the other things that while I was like going down that rabbit hole of people with having near death experiences, all the NDEs, and hearing even nurses tell their stories, professionals, like people who aren't really allowed to talk about this stuff in their place of work. Because, you know, if you're a hospice nurse or just a regular non-hospice nurse, like you still deal with death and see stuff. I'm going to use a little bit of Enchanted Forest on the dark parts of the tree just to see what happens. If I can get a little, we'll see. So yeah, I started watching these videos on like the near-death experiences and this and that, and hearing people's experience of what life is like on that side, or how it's changed once they've come back into their bodies, and how much they talk about like not wanting to come back because earth is so dense and heavy and like the body hurts. You know, it's falling apart, but you know, we're aging from the moment we're born, which isn't a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, these NDE stories where they're like, I felt like someone turned on the floodlights and now I could see everything. As a paramedic, yep. Yes. And that's what I tell people too. I'm like, just because we have physical bodies, when people die and cross over, like, it doesn't mean they're gone. No one's ever truly gone. The soul never really dies. And it's not this sad, far apart distance thing. They're literally right there. So when I do readings for people and I'm like, oh, hey, you have this this guy standing behind you, like I see him over your right shoulder. He's showing me, you know, this hat, and it's like I can just see it, almost like I'm looking at a photograph of somebody, and I can like just tell them like, I see this, and he's showing me he's from this part of the country, or he's showing me he moved from one country and then moved to this one, and then there's this other soul coming in at the same time, so I don't know if they're connected, blah blah blah. But it's just like blah, just word vomit. It's paying attention to what you see on the inside of your brain, which sounds really weird when I say it out loud like that. But Janice, you're feeling me. You're feeling me. You understand. So I kind of had to stop caring what other people thought, because I knew that this was the kind of stuff that was truly helping people heal. And a lot of the people from my past, because, you know, I went to church and this and that, and so they were like, it's evil. And I'm like, no, it's not evil, because it's helping people heal. So I was like, as soon as like I get to a point where, you know, I'm wrong and maybe the information stops hitting and as accurate and true, like spot on details, maybe then I'll stop. But in the meantime, because it keeps happening and it keeps becoming true, and I keep meeting people who are just divinely interwoven into my life, I'm gonna keep helping people the way that I know how. And we got to use our gifts and our abilities and whatever we're here and good at, whether it's bringing joy, whether it's cooking for people when they need something, whether it's just being a friend, or whether you have some really crazy gifts like what me and Janice are talking about. You're here to use them. You're not here to hoard your gifts. And you don't get to let anybody else tell you how you can and can't use them. Right? Yep. And who am I to be like, oh, but not like that? I can't share it like this. Like, these are God given, born with them. I've been like this since I was a little girl. I didn't get to have the validation. I just thought everybody kind of read minds a little bit, or everybody had a little intuition, right? And then stuff would happen where like I would get flashes of my son like upstairs doing something, and then I would like run upstairs and he's doing that exact thing. That is so cool. Yeah. So Janice, that happens too. Like even if I'm doing like Reiki healing on somebody and just energy work or doing a sound about anything, like any time that the human mind can be so relaxed and receptive, it's like moth to a flame, right? If the your loved ones are like, hey, you can see me. Can you deliver this message to this person? I've been trying to talk to her and she just won't listen because she's so sad and grief stricken and depressed that she won't see the signs I'm trying to show her. Can you please tell her this? Yeah. And I'm like, okay. Wait, I gotta do our ASMR real quick. So yeah, it was at that point, started doing meditation, started working on my own, trusting my own intuition and not let anybody tell me the right or the wrong way to do things anymore. Um, I'm very much like, hello. I'm very much like, this is my life. This is what I get. This is what I receive. This is how I live my authentic truth. This is who I am. I love you regardless. You can choose to love me regardless. This is just, this is life. Um, not loving these. Hold on, hold on. How do I want to make this better? Hold on. Thinking. Let's do maybe some onyx, or let me put some of the, just to like, I don't want it so bright that it's like, okay. Oh, Carol, what's your dog's name? And yes, animals are sentient beings and they have souls too. Um, my toilet just started like the toilet just started going off on its own when I said that. And when you're missing them, next time you sit, close your eyes and just invite them to be closer to you so that you can feel them. And start there. Griffin. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so my friend that just sent me a text message, her and I have been talking about, are they griffins or griffiths? Griffin, like those like monster type. Um, yeah, the only thing I'm really seeing in my head right now is it's reminding me of my dog Otis that I had when I was little. And Otis was a big fat, he was a black lab. So I don't know if he's an actual, if Griffin was a black lab or if it was like that same type of energy where it was just very loving, calm. As he got older, he looked like a coffee table with four legs. But you can always send me a photo. He was getting a drink of water. Yeah, I've done some readings for dead and alive animals. Actually, I had a friend who got a brand new dog, and he was like tearing up their house. And when I tuned into his energy, he was showing me like, oh, he doesn't like his crate placement. He didn't like the crate, and he didn't like where you put it. And I'm like, he wants you to, like, he needs to be by the window so he's looking out. Griffin. Yeah, Griffin. Okay. Oh, and it's super windy here today too. Um, and so that was for a dog that was, still alive. And just like people too, I've tuned into people who are in comas, and I asked them if they're coming back, kind of thing. Um, and it was like a younger boy who had cancer, maybe like 1920, and he basically told me like, no, I'm not going to come back, because if I come back, it's going to be too painful in my body. And if it's not now, it's going to be in less than a year anyways, kind of thing is what he showed me. And delivered the message. And of course, it's hard because people want healing. And when they think healing, they think miraculously delivered from their pains. And that's not always what healing is. And so, he crossed over. I had pulled some cards too, and those all validated like his personality and his sign and stuff like that. And so it's hard because you're like, I'm sorry, but this is just what he showed me. What am I going to do here? I don't know. So I got to sit and think on this and how I want to fix the little. I'm going to do like little, I think I'm going to work on it more when we get off the live, because I want to, the spots that I have these, I want to do like little fairy, like illuminating ball type things. But it's like me talking and trying to do this. It's like suddenly I'm like, yeah, I absolutely do think pets and people, because there are times like my friend, even though she's 40, her mom just died, and she accidentally got pregnant, and she's married, and they're 40, and their kids are older, and this baby looks exactly like her mom that just crossed. And I looked at the baby, even just the photo, looked in her eyes, and it's like full body goosebumps. And I'm like, whoa, that baby has pieces of your mother in it. And she's here to teach you some stuff that your mom was trying to help you learn that you didn't learn. And so now she's in your daughter. And now you are forced to be present and patient and listen to the lessons that are coming through. So, yeah. I definitely, like, I feel like we don't know all the rules. We don't know how it all works. Hello from Arkansas. All right, we're going to pull 3 more IMs. I'm going to finish this after, because I got to get ready to go do school pickups and stuff. And I've been yapping your guys' ear off since 11:11 today. So sorry, didn't realize that it would go for so long. So again, pick a pile, 1, 2, or 3. Every comment that you leave too, you're entered into our giveaway for our Paint Pixie Magical Mystery Deck with our painting and creative prompts on the other side. And then I'm also going to give you one of my custom made I Am affirmation decks. And the way that I like to use these, I like to pull them for myself. My kids like to pull them every day. Not every day, sorry, but or I will pull one and send a picture to my girlfriends. I'll post them on my stories. I'll do these where I'll do like little pick a piles where I'm like, pick a pile 1, 2, or 3, and then the randomness is never really random. That's the beautiful thing about this. What we think is, there's so much more, so much more. So, but hopefully you like our little forest that we're creating. Okay. All right, pile one. And since we're at the end of the live, I'm actually going to give you guys 2 IMs for being so patient and waiting and making it 2 hours through me talking. If you do like to hear me talk, I have a show called Souls and Stardust Podcast. And the reason why we named it that was because everything in this world is made as the same exact things as the stars. So your body, everything is the same stuff as stardust. So there's nothing new under the sun. So that's what we named our show. It's myself and one of my best girlfriends, Shannon. We had a retreat in November. We have another one coming up in Vegas in April. And so a lot of it's going to be this type of stuff, spiritual development. We've done some like really cool group meditations and stuff like that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that you can. I feel seen. I feel seen, safe, and supported in amongst this community here to be myself without judgment. So, all right. If you picked pile one, you guys saw me shuffle. So clearly these are supposed to be out in the realm. We're supposed to hear this today. I am becoming the best version of myself daily with I am calm and collected. That's pile one. Pile two, I am starting fresh and I am light. I am light. And the thing about light is we illuminate so that we can shine and put that onto others and to the spaces around us. Sometimes we're in these dark caves and our light is just like a little tiki torch, and it's just one step at a time. We can only see or near the things that are closest to us. But other times you can see it in somebody when they're so full of light and they walk into the room and they're just like, I could tell that person is somebody. I can see that they're like just emanating and radiating, and vice versa. You can tell when people are dark, dense, negative. Like I can feel when someone is super negative from across the room. Don't even make eye contact with me. Don't talk to me, because those are the people that are going to trauma dump, which I can handle, but I don't always need to subject myself to, right? All right, the last pile three, I'm learning to trust myself and I am never alone. And just what we were just talking about with Janice, right? We're never alone. Our loved ones are always with us, always near us. And one of the projects you can do too is like making a piece in memory of that person or that dog that, like, you know, I like mementos. So if your dog had a favorite toy, paint the favorite toy. You don't have to paint the whole dog, you know. All right, and if anybody wants, let's see if I get some. This is from our Your Girlfriend's No BS Love article. Let's see if anything good comes from here. May not be the right time and space for relationship cards, but we'll see. Sometimes when I pull these for myself, it's funny because the avatars on them are myself and Shannon. And so if I pull all three cards and it's my face on them, I feel like I'm yelling at myself, like, oh, I better listen. Okay, so trust this and take the leap. So that is a card of yes and moving forward and jumping into something. So if it's a connection, if it's friendship, if it's taking your existing relationship to a deeper spot, it's saying, yes, trust this, take the leap, do it. So this one, this is a hell of a blast from the past. There's unfinished business here. This is where I talk about, like, sometimes it's not time to move on, or you meet people, you meet new friends, new community, and you start having your tribe of people that come and surround you. And it's like picking up where you left off before. And that's what I feel like this community is just, we probably all decided to come and meet, today on March 1st. We decided to be here at the same moment, right? Our unfinished business could have been, we're going to go and talk and you're going to tune in on this day at this moment so that you can feel the motivation that you need and get the message that you needed. Because it wasn't just about painting. I'm not the best painter, right? But like, there must have been something that you were here to have to hear. And I'm a big meme person. I love memes and reels. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm that friend that's like, my friends will send me like 20 in a row at night when they can't sleep. But there was one that said, if reincarnation is real, I wonder how many movies, books, art pieces that we have loved and admired because a piece of us created it, or something like that, because it was one of our pieces, or we lived in that time, or something like that. Have some patience. All is aligning in divine timing. Okay? All is aligning in divine timing. That is definitely for me. I usually pull that card every time I do cards for myself. Be patient. Be patient. Let it unfold. Okay? Bottom of the deck says some connections aren't meant to be forever. So remember at the beginning I said sometimes the people in our lives are like, as long as we can walk in and know not everything is forever, sometimes it's just let me appreciate and love you and learn this lesson, and for whatever reason and for however long. That's it. We don't have to look for forever with everybody. It could just be the person you run into today when you're grabbing lunch. It could be me that you're just clicking on right now, right? You just happen to jump in on this. So let me just put these little, I like these because my mom actually bought these for my birthday last year when we were visiting Washington, and we went to see one of her retailers. Was it a Reimagineer? Her, I have to ask who that was again that we went and visited. But they're the cutest place. Decision. So somebody needs to make a decision. And I think I want to make a deck like this with the watercolors and stuff too, but with different words and pictures. And I'll use all of our Paint Pixie stuff. But finding your true north and making every decision that you make based off of true north. What's your vision for your business? What's your vision for your life? What do you want to do with this art stuff? What kind of things you've been sitting on where you're like, I should do this, but then maybe somebody told you, well, why would you do that? Or how's that going to work? And blah, 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 blah. Find your true north, stick to it, and keep showing up and making the consistent. Remember, we got the turtle earlier, the turtle card? Consistency. One step, one step, one step, consistency. So we got decision. We talked about the hummingbirds. Boundaries. And I love that it's like the purple and yellow. So this is boundaries for yourself. If it comes to your heart, yes. Camino Island, yes. Oh, I want to go back there so much. We had the best Airbnb. I would do an art retreat out there if we could. Boundaries aren't always bad. I was talking about in one of my stories today on my photography Instagram, boundaries being fences instead of, brick walls, because fences can still let things in without totally guarding the heart, right? And then it's another thing. Yeah, thank you, Patty. Thank you. It was so nice to meet you. So boundaries are one thing to set them. It's another thing to enforce them, because it's to keep you, safe. And last one, desire. With the moth, what do we say? The moth is the butterfly of the night, and they're attracted to light. So what are you desiring? What decisions are you making? And let it transform you. Bottom of the deck, manifest. Cool. So again, we're going to leave the giveaway open for 24 hours. So comment, share, go to our YouTube channel Subscribing there will give you an additional entry if you leave comments on any of the videos. Like I said, I'm putting the old videos on so that I can, Facebook's a little disorganized. So I am eventually moving everything because we have so many lives in our archive that I can organize by project type or something because, we'll do our little themes and stuff like that. And then I will be posting original content there that won't be available anywhere else except for YouTube. So that will be this month. Again, Paint Pixie Magical Mystery Decks. I hope that this was fun. I hope that this was different than what you're used to. Thank you for your patience with me while I do all this. Can't wait. Good luck when you guys will get this. And the I Am deck. And Janice, I'm coming to see you. I'm doing a ghost tour. We got to do that. And again, if you want to follow any of my other pages, it's just Souls and Stardust podcast. Like I said, Facebook is not, I'm not super duper active on Facebook. We just kind of put whatever's on our Instagram off to Facebook. Instagram is busier. Sunday, 3/3, we have the little mini YouTube reading. So if you want an intuitive reading from me, you can click the link in the description box and get booked that way. And happy to serve you, happy to help whatever I can do. So I love you guys. Thank you. Mom, if you're still here, love you too. I don't know. And I'm going to finish this little guy. I think I need food. That's what it is. I need food and then I can fuel more creativity. So. All right. Okay, hold on. Now I got to figure out how to end this. There we go. Okay. Maybe my mom isn't here anymore. Okay. All right. Bye.